I want to thank Governor Pritzker for allowing me to serve my 22-year sentence for murdering my mom as the real me. I was born a woman in a man's body. Thanks to Governor Pritzker and the taxpayers of Illinois, I can finally afford gender-affirming care. Hell yeah! Ladies, we are going to have a hell of a time in the showers. Don't drop the soap.
Someone help us. Please get us out of here. Guard! Guard! Save us! Guard! Save us! Please, someone, help!
Ladies, guess what else Governor Pritzker gives me for free along with gender-affirming care treatments? Viagra and Cialis. Yeah, baby! Thanks to JB Pritzker, I love this place. Think about it. 3 meals a day, no bills to pay, women to prey on. Hey, I like it here! I think I'm going to ask JB to convert my 22-year sentence to life. Why would I want to leave? Free food, free women, and free drugs. Shit, I'm never leaving. Yes!
How did you like that one, Mike?
It's terrible, and it's even worse because it's true.
It is. You guys, it is. So this is going to be an interesting segment, right? So we're going to talk about a guy named Mr. Finnegan. What led me down this path, right? And these FOIAs that we're going to talk about. And I had a Substack that I put out today. So you'll find that on Facebook and X and my Substack. If you're not following Substack, look me up. Behind Enemy Lines, Terry Newsom. So I learned of a guy from Peoria, Illinois, that around 2008, he murdered his mother. He strangled his mother, and then he had sexual intercourse with her dead body.
Christ.
And I guess they were having incestual relationships before that, which is sick. I guess his mom was 42 and he was like 21. And the guy only got 22 years in prison for strangling his mother and having sex with her dead body.
They should have taken him out behind the courthouse and put a bullet in his head.
Yeah. The Mike. No violence on this show.
Sorry.
So, yes, Jesus, you're gonna ruin our fucking show's reputation. So, that's disgusting, right? 22 years. The guy should have got life. They said he was mentally insane, which I probably don't. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't just
out, and it's bullshit, that mentally insane shit. So, somebody told me about that, and this is a while ago, right? So, and you'll see it on my Substack, and you'll see. Oh, I should have sent some of the responses. So I did a FOIA request to the Illinois Department of Corrections about gender affirming care in February 9th this year. And I asked for very specific about how many men, how many women, by prison or institution, types of surgery, types of medications, who is the provider of these services. And one of the reasons I want to know about the providers, I bet you my right arm, it's tied to Pritzker and the goofy shit they do from the University of Chicago. It is, they funded all that crap. I'm sure most of you people know it. He's got a transvestite cousin that was in the military in heels and a dress. Did you know that, Mike?
Yeah, I remember us talking about it a while back, but yeah, I almost forgot.
Yeah. So then they funded something at the Children's Hospital, University of Chicago, which is disgusting, right? So
Yes.
I FOIA'd them, and I was led on through yesterday. This woman, Maggie, she'll be in the Substack, and she's going to get back to me with everything. Sorry, Mr. Newsom, extension. Since last February, this woman led me on through yesterday. And I said, what, I'm filing with the Illinois Attorney General appeal. I go, I'm tired. You guys been dicking me around, right? Putting me off. Oh, I don't show anything outstanding FOIAs for you, Mr. Newsom. I'm like, are you kidding me? Here's your emails. I got nothing. And then there was a letter that was sent June 8th, basically a rejection letter, but there was 3 PDFs. And again, this is in the Substack story. They were fully redacted, 3 little pages of massive amounts of information that I requested, including, she said, their chief medical officer was working on it. Consultants were working on it. Then fast forward 6 months later, oh, we're not going to do it. That's bullshit. They're supposed to respond, for those of you who don't know, in 5 days, right, Mike? 5 days. They ask for extension, 5 days, or if it's overwhelming, they might ask for a little bit longer, and you give it to them. And I was very nice. Now I'm not going to be nice with this bitch anymore, right? So I sent it to the attorney general, and she got back to me after I already presented to the attorney general that they've been dicking us around, and they're trying to hide something with the election coming up. They're trying to hide how many people are in gender for. So some of the stuff I got, and again, back to the Substack, talks about top surgery, bottom surgery, all this bullshit. I got like, but it doesn't tell me the details of who did it, how much it cost, how many inmates. And that's going on. It's going on like crazy. That's why they're trying to hide it. So that's what led me, after the frustration of not getting the details so I could share it with you guys yesterday, to do this story. So Illinois provides gender affirming care for inmates. It doesn't matter if they strangled their mother and have sex with their mother. We as taxpayers, and how much, I don't know, Mike, you follow this better than me. You got a better memory than me. The deficit in the state of Illinois is like one of the worst in the United
Yeah,
States
you
of
guys
America.
have $450 billion just in unfunded liabilities right now.
Think about that, guys. 450 billion. It's like the debt of a country, right? Think about it. So we're paying these freaks, murderers, rapists, transvestites, fake transvestites, men that want to take advantage of the system so they go into female prisons. Oh, and by the way, this guy Finnegan, he went into a female prison in Decatur, and it's still in the Illinois Department of Corrections. His name and stuff is John Finnegan, in a female prison. So he still has his name, his still inmate ID, still as a man in there, and you'll see his mugshot I had in from 2024, I think. Still a guy.
Yeah. Has he knocked up any of the guards or other inmates yet?
I mean, unless they're really desperate drug addicts that are, you'll
Mm.
see him you'll see his picture. He's pretty nasty. Looks like a scarecrow. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, and then for those of you that follow the show, Frank Lardino, shout out to Frank Lardino. He's got the Warrior podcast. I did a 5-hour segment with him of 3 phases of my life. The first one with the crime, the drugs, organized crime, the cartels, the weapons, all the crazy shit I did. And we got the second one on corporate America, and the third one on the politics that everybody knows me for. And I'm going to talk a little bit. That's out in the open now, so now that I'm not the big corporate company anymore, I'm talking openly about my background and coming out with the book. So when I was in prison, I've got stories about these guys that I'm going to share with you on the show here, about some of the crazy shit that goes on within those prison systems that I, personally saw and heard and experienced. Not me. I didn't want to
Yeah.
say, I guess I could have experienced, but I said no in 2 different occasions. We'll talk about that. It's kind of fucking sick, But so we're going to talk about that a little bit. But Mike, why don't you talk about the second half of the show, and then we'll jump into this stuff.
Oh, yeah. Afterwards, we're going to talk about illegal aliens voting and voter fraud, because guess what? Everybody's seen New Jersey, but now we got 1,000 illegal aliens registered to vote on the voter rolls in Michigan, too, and it's in a smaller county. So, again, we really do need the SAVE Act and not this watered-down version that got included in the NDAA. We need something with teeth in it, and clock's ticking. We got to get this done before they're throwing up excuses that they can't. We can't check IDs before November. This law just went into effect.
Yeah. So, it's funny is what was that jerk off I just debated? Who, I don't know. I mean, I think he got a little bit of edge on me, but John, what was this guy's name again? Same last name as the Jewish guy that wears the beanie thing that's on our side. Same last name as that Jewish guy, the smart guy that wears the little Jewish beanie cap all the time.
Dude, I don't know.
He's on our side. You know who he is. The smart Jewish guy with the black hair.
Oh, Shapiro. John.
Yeah.
Was it Josh Shapiro?
Yeah, John Shapiro, who's I debated, and he tried to say we're all nuts and stuff, and there was no cheating at all. So this is great. This is coming out, and again, I want to say over and over again, thank God that Trump lost the second election, right? So they cheated. We lost, right? That's disgusting. It was bad. It was awful at the time of which it happened. It's the best thing that could have happened in America, the best thing for our country, the best thing for the world. Because if that didn't happen, right, And thank God he won his third election. He won all three of them, but thank God he
Yes.
won. Otherwise, none of this shit would have mattered. But because he won his third election, we're able to go back and find all this crazy shit they've been doing to us, the deep state, the lies, the cheating, the voter cheating, targeting and coming after people like myself, other people going to prison, and all this stuff is coming out. That would have never happened if he won back to back, right? And if he didn't win the third election. So this is a good thing. It's a very
Yep.
good thing that pricks, these arrogant Marxist scumbag pricks, did what they did and they're going to get caught. But we need to see people going down, getting arrested. All right, let's get back to the transvestites. So, you know, I mean, people on our side, the gender affirming care for kids is sick, disgusting bastards. This is part of the Marxist revolution trying to come down on the United States, separate families, children, just create a massive divide with this crazy shit. And unfortunately, a lot of people are brainwashed in the universities, right? So I don't know how anyone in the right mind can have any supportive vision of this happening to children and high school kids, right? More importantly, these pricks are being put into prison for punishment, right? They're
Yep.
being there to punish. So why are we allowing these whack job murderers, violent criminals, sex offenders to live out their sexual fantasies, right? These are sexual fantasies, you guys. And we're putting them in prisons to be punished. But then if they so choose to get gender affirming care or whatever they want to do in there with that wacky bullshit, we have to pay for that. We have to pay for them to enjoy their sexual fantasy. Oh, and by the way, we have to put them into a female prison and the guy could keep his sausage and have sex with women, right? I
Dude,
mean,
it's even worse than that. And I mean, there's tons of cases now of inmates on so-called gender affirming care going to a female prison and then either knocking up guards or inmates. I know there's this story that just it turned out to be fake or exaggerated with I think it was in California, but and some of them it's multiple times. Like they've gotten numerous other female prisoners pregnant or guards in some cases because we put them over there, and as you said, like they still have the twig and berries. We're paying for it. We're paying for any surgeries. We're paying for any medication. Most of them, it's not even that. They just say, "Hey, I feel like a lady today. Go send me to the women's prison, and that way I can be around, my prey."
yeah. So I'll share some goofy stories with you guys. You'll probably get a kick out of it and whatever. I mean, it's funny now. It wasn't funny at the time when I was living through this bullshit. But
I bet.
yeah, I was getting raped 20 times. That's a joke. I'm joking. I did it. Oh my God, Max Rice is gonna get it and take that little clip, you know. No, it's a joke. Well, when I was first walking into Joliet Penitentiary, oh, matter of fact, the only guys that get gang raped are like Max Rice and his girlfriends and stuff, right? The guys that can't defend themselves, the guys that have that little gay little, like those are the ones that get preyed upon. Not like me. I was a big beast when I went in there. So we're walking into Joliet Penitentiary. I got, they take you through the Sally Port, and when you're going into the prison like that, this is the state prison and federal prison as well. Well, they got a Sally Port, so you see this. Joliet is like an old castle. It's kind of scary as fuck, when you, so you're pulling into Joliet. You're looking at this massive castle. You're all handcuffed to shackled, a bunch of guys you don't know, and it is a nerve wracking experience. So you go through the Sally Port, gates open, then they bring you in, gates close. When they're closed, they open up, they take you in, you get off. You got guys yelling at you just like you see in the movies, yelling out their cells or at their windows, depending on how the prison's configured. And so we were walking. So all the new people, the new arrivals go through what's called receiving in the intake center, right? And so it doesn't matter what type of crime you did. You could be getting a couple years. You could have life in prison for life, right? So everybody's picked up from all the different jails from Northern Illinois, and you go to Joliet. Southern Illinois, I think it's Menard. Yeah, so we're on this bus full of different types of criminals, and then we go in, and then we have to take our clothes off. They throw shit on you, lice stuff, just like you see on TV, and then you have to go take a shower. Um, And so you're going from receiving to the shower room at the prison, right? And then they have you separate because you're all different security levels, right? Separate from the regular full time inmates that live and are sentenced to do their sentence at Joliet Correctional. And so we're walking, they got the fence on the side, and there's all these black guys there. And I'm walking, it's, mostly black, right? And I'm walking, and I see this woman in a white halter top, with all the men over there. It's like white, and it's tied a knot, had real short shorts, right? And had red like cheeks. It's a black chick, right? Short hair with pigtails. And I'm like, I was first, that was my first time in prison. So I'm like, holy fuck, why they got a woman in there? It looked like a real woman, I swear to God. And the other guys like, you dumb motherfucker. It's a bitch, man. It's a bitch. I'm like, that's a fucking guy? It's like, holy shit. So they dress up, man. They like that shit. They like the attention. They love the attention, these transvestites. They love it, man. They're in heaven in there. They're in heaven, right? So, part of it's like these freaks that go in there, and some of them are faking just to get sent to a female prison so they have sex too, right? But these whack jobs, these scumbags are nuts. So then I was in, we'd go in the chow hall in the morning, and I had this young 19-year-old kid that I stepped when I first got in there, right? I kept to myself. I didn't talk to how much I like to talk, but I didn't talk to anybody. And every time I sat, man, I would go to my own little, like, they got little four-seaters, like a McDonald's, sort of like, and I'd sit, and this young 19-year-old kid, clean cut, good looking kid, every time I sat, man, he'd come and sit by me. I wouldn't fucking talk to him every time, so I go to one other brother. I'm like, the fuck is this kid keeps sitting by me at lunch or breakfast, lunch, whatever. And they go, well, when these guys come into prison to try to keep themselves from being gang raped, they look for the biggest guy, i.e., that was me at the time. And they try to, so what they would rather do is be attached to a guy that's going to make them their bitch, right? And keep them as their girlfriend in prison. Swear to God, you know. What else? I got another story. I was in, so this is in federal prison. This is my federal deal with the mob guys, the Cali cartel, the hand grenades, the heroin, the rocket launchers. That's all coming out in the story. And so when I was in El Reno, Oklahoma, remember the Oklahoma City bombers? Those guys were in there. And actually,
Yeah.
Timothy McVeigh got killed in Terre Haute, Indiana, and I was in Terre Haute, the penitentiary over there for a little bit in the hole. But so this is in the beginning, so I was in a cell with the bossy guy, Boston. You got the Italians, you got the Italian Boston guys, and a lot of Irish. So me and this other pretty cool guy, we bunked together. He was my cellie. They call him Sally, cellmate. And this little like pygmy Mexican guy, like he was, I swear to God, looked like a little Inca, like you see on TV, except he had long hair that went down right above his ass. He looked like a little woman troll. It's really fucking weird. I'm like, holy shit. He's like, looks like a little thing. It's like, what's his name from? He looks like what's his name from Adam's Family, but black hair and it goes in the back. What's that creature?
Cousin It.
Yeah,
Cousin.
yeah, I swear to God. But he didn't have it all in the front. It just, and his hair went all the way back, dark black. Didn't speak a lick of English, right? And so two cells over, it was white supremacist guys, right? And they big fuckers, and they would take their sheets and we were on the fifth tier, fifth level, right? Massive prison. And they would tie knots and they would put their sheet there. And these big fucking guys, you'd be scared to death to fight, tattooed mustaches and stuff go in there. And this little Inca troll, Uncle Fester guy, or whatever, what's his name? Cousin It.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He would go in there for white guys. He would charge 2 packs of cigarettes for a blowjob. Black guys, he would charge 5. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. And so like this stuff goes on all the time. So me and the Boston guy were in there, and the guy that's his like pimp or whatever, Mexican guy who spoke broken English. The other little Inca guy didn't speak shit of English. They came in by our cell one time, and the guy's looking at me. I'm like, what the fuck's he looking at? He goes, hey, he'll do you for free, man. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So that shit goes on. Another story, when I was coming out in Joliet, so I was going on work release after, I was doing my time, and then you come up and they put you back into Joliet, which is the receiving. It's intake and outtake, right? So they have the guys that do their regular time and general population, but then they have matter of fact, the center, if you ever go to to Joliet for the Halloween. That's the center. That's the intake center. So we would have free reign to when you're going out on work release, right? So after you did your time, you worked your way down through from the levels, the security levels, right? So they would let us out and we'd be able to walk the tiers. We'd help the inmates. Matter of fact, I had a job when they did the fingerprints the old fashioned way with the fingerprints.
Yeah,
So
ink.
yeah, I helped the inmates. I'm sorry, I helped the COs, correctional officers. I don't do the fingerprints, right? But they had these little index boxes with the cards, right? So I had help with that. And you hear about how they call out the guys that were pedophiles and stuff. So the perfect case what I'm gonna share with you here is that I would see who's in there. And you know what? A lot of the older guys that are like my age, even Mike's age, because they're mostly younger guys for drugs and crimes and stuff like that. But the
Sure.
majority of the guys that would be my age were pedophiles. They're fucking pedophiles. And I would have access to it. I could see their cards. So when I'm done helping the guards, I'm like, fucking Joe Blow and whatever is a fucking pedophile. And he's oh yeah, I'm a drug dealer, I'm a fucking pedophile. And then they take care of him when they get him over into general population across the street. So I was out on the tier, right? They had I think we had 3 tiers in this one, if I remember correctly. And this used to be like the like the hole for the prison. So the doors are solid, and then you got a little slot. Where you where they feed us through they would put our trays of food through the slot like you see in TV. You got a little
Yeah.
glass on top, right? So you look through the window and they come through like that. So I was out walking around and there was a gay guy that was on the second tier, black gay guy. And before they switched shifts, this black guy yelled next to the gay guy, said he needs to get out of his cell. He's got a white supremacist racist to the black guard. Most of the guards are black there, right? Down south, they're mostly white. And the guard knew that this black guy wanted to switch cells and go into the gay guy's cell because he had an open bunk, right? So he could bang him. So the guard told him, I know what you're up to, and then they switched and there was a white guard that came in. He's like, man, this man's racist. This motherfucker's racist. You got to switch me. I ain't staying in here. And they put him in the cell next to him with the gay guy, right? And my cell but I was open. I was able to walk around. It was like 2 over from that. And so when they could lock us down, even the guys that get to walk around as you're going to work release, they still lock us down, I think at 9:00. I don't remember. I'm walking by and like it's disgusting. You hear 2 men banging. I hear a woman go, oh, oh, oh. Well, it's like, these disgusting bastards, man. They do anything to have sex. And they don't consider themselves gay, and they're the guys that are having the sex. And then there was another time going through receiving. There's this transvestite in there, and he's looking, we're playing spades. And he could see my cards trying to tell me what to do. He's a transvestite, right? And he's like, oh, so I would lose a lot. I do push-ups. I didn't play. We play for push-ups, right? And I hate playing spades, but there was nothing else to do in there. It's not like when you're in a
Sure.
regular prison and general population, you got shit to do and working out and all that shit. And so he's like, oh, honey, your arms are getting all swollen. I feel so bad. He's like, come over and put your sausage in my slot. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Guys would walk up and stick their fucking sausage right inside the slot for the food tray and just stand there. And it's like disgusting, man. So, these guys go to prison and they want to have the opportunity to be sent to a female prison. That's a fucking fantasy that we're paying for,
Yeah.
right? They're supposed to be punished. And that's why I made that little spoof intro that we did, is the sarcasm of it's not a punishment for them.
No.
It's a reward, right? And they like it. And they flirt. I mean, it's disgusting. You see the stuff they do. It's fucking disgusting, man. And they play I mean, it's, and we're funding that. We have so much debt. We have so many people that are hurting, for housing. I'm not a bleeding heart liberal by no means, right? But we have so many people that need money and help, right? And
Yeah.
especially minority communities or college, right? Or college tuition or anything, but letting these fuckers get gender affirming care and then have fucking sex in prison or go to a female prison with a sausage. It's disgusting. Any
Yeah.
Democrat Anybody with half a brain that supports these scummy Democrat pieces of shit is crazy. So that's part of why I wanted to bring this to the attention today. We got a guy who strangled his mom, had sex with her, and is getting rewarded by getting gender affirming care and put into a female fucking prison because of Pritzker. So that's all I
Disgusting.
have. I got more stories about this shit. I just want to share, some of them. It's fucking crazy in there. I came out unscathed. Don't worry. Matter of fact, I mean, yeah, I can't. I handle myself very well in there. I mean, no one even thought about any. I mean,
Well, I'm looking at this right
matter
now.
of fact, they
Like,
call me crank. They thought I was crazy, and Mike knows I'm not.
well, dude, it's better to be thought of as crazy than people are afraid. But I'm looking at this right now, like just headlines from the last few months of where this is happening. Like, there's just a case in New York. What was the date on that? Sorry, 1 second. So this was in June. So not that long ago, June 24th, about a month ago, man posing as transgender woman rapes female prisoner. This is in New York. I'm scrolling down here. I got another one. This is in Maine in prison. Again, trans identifying male serving life sentence for murder. Was transferred to women's prison, raped a woman in the shower there. That's 3 months ago. Here's another one in New Jersey. Oh, here we go. New Jersey trans prisoner impregnated 2 female inmates. This is from January of this year. And dude, there's tons of these. I could keep scrolling. Here's another one in New Jersey. Just happened. Another rape.
Yeah. I mean, great. People don't even know what the fuck's going on in their own school with their children, right? They don't. And it's disgusting. You guys got to wake up. And I know the people that are watching Mike's show, my show, this show together, other shows that are watching, they understand and they know. But it's the people, your friends that don't know. You got to let them know what's going on. And I'm not talking about this, ass banging transvestites, right? I'm talking about in general in the school and the Muslims. The reason we're doing this show is to try to enlighten you guys on what the hell's going on. The stuff the mainstream media doesn't talk about. We need your help, man. You don't have to go out and confront Antifa or, all this other stupid shit I do, or, Mike does 5 shows a day, right? I mean, but you need to do something besides watch us or bitch on Facebook or Twitter, right? You got to do something.
I got one more for you here. This is just disgusting. It shows you how broken this is. So this is in California. There's 150 women claiming to have been raped by male identifying male trans prisoners in female prison. They're trying to get a class action lawsuit together. They're claiming there's been more than 4,000 rapes in women's prisons by trans men. And that's just for the state of California. It's 150 of them.
I'm glad you found that. See, it backs up everything we're saying. And they're trying to hide. They're trying to hide this shit. So I peeled it. I hope we find out, you guys, how much money is being fucking wasted on these. These guys should be fucking punished. And many of them should be killed for their crimes. That Finnegan guy, look him up, John Finnegan. He should be murdered and diced up in pieces for what he did to his mom. Not just to murder his mom, but have sex with his own mother after he killed her. Why is that guy allowed to live? And then enjoy a sexual fantasy by going into a female prison. Why? It makes no sense.
I'm surprised there aren't other victims now. I bet there are. I wouldn't be surprised the prison's covering them up, because that's what happens with a lot of these. And if they don't end up pregnant, they won't let them press charges. The prison basically pretends it didn't happen. I'm reading through about this case in California, where a lot of these 150 women that are trying to get a class action suit together are saying it was reported to guards multiple times. Nothing's done. This is systemic. And I believe it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So before we transition to the next stuff you want to talk about, I do
transition.
Yeah. I bet you you know what? Those local folks, I bet you Max Rice would look fucking hot with Kool-Aid on his cheeks, little halter top, and some little short shorts. He probably does that on Boys Town anyway when he goes with his buddy John Clithater or whatever his name is. That's a little turtle joke, folks. I had to do it. It's for people in my circle that hate this guy. It's a little inside joke. All right. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, they're gay for the stay. Yeah, the rest of what we got today And I'm going to dig more into this too. And we got another guest. We're going to try to get her booked. There's more of the trans issues out in California with another case with same thing where they strip parents away from their children. In this case, the state was trying to push her daughter into becoming a emancipated minor, I think is the term for it. And it was basically because her mom didn't want to affirm her new gender identity. Now, luckily, this girl came to her senses after a friend of hers chopped her tits off and then went crazy, and I guess tried to OD on medication they'd given her. Then her daughter had a come to Jesus moment. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna fix my light. It turned on. I just noticed it on. I can't even see my face on it.
Well, no worries. I'll queue up this next story then. But yeah, guys, like this is a serious issue. And again, the media doesn't want to cover these kind of stories because they they break their narrative. They want to pretend that these trans women in men's prison are victims somehow. And there's probably a small number of them, like you said, like the other gay dudes that were there or whatever. But that's not by and large what's happening. It's people that are abusing the system and honestly abusing this toxic empathy that the left is built on. These retards think that these men pretending to be women are actually trans and not realizing they just want to be in a better environment, around their victims. But Michigan, things are heating up. And this is right after, I think we talked about New Jersey on Tuesday when we had the Zitkos on. And now we got Michigan too. Michigan County Clerk drops bombshell. 1,062 non-citizens found in the jury pool, 40 registered to vote in just one county. This is a small county there in Michigan. So you can imagine, like statewide, this has got to be tens of thousands of people. And again, like where we really need to get into is Detroit, because we know that in 2020, by their own testimony, by their in that county, they were only able to account for 29 to 31% of the vote. Otherwise, they have just no idea how these votes arrive. So I absolutely guarantee you, if we've got this many so far that they found in one, and this is one county with one person coming forward just on the jury pool. They pull the jury pool from voter registration in a lot of states because then you have to be a citizen if you're on or theoretically at least, if you're in the voter database. So that's how they determine the jury pool. And I was just looking forward to see if that's how Michigan does it or not, because I'm pretty sure that's how it works in Ohio, and I know that's how it worked in Florida.
Jimmy, shut up. Jimmy Fuckerata. I saw that. All right, Mukarata. Stop telling me what to say. Keep that. I'm going to get that bike path guy to beat your ass.
Oh, there's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, there is. It's an inside joke.
Yeah. So just refresh everybody's memory here real quick. At least 35,152 non-citizens are registered to vote in New Jersey. Republicans get smart and pass the SAVE Act. And again, I'm going to bet my bottom dollar it's going to be a lot more than that once they finally start going through New Jersey's voter rolls. But all these blue states are refusing to cooperate with the Department of Justice. Again, they're already obligated under existing law to cooperate with the Federal Elections Commission to go through your voter rolls to make sure you don't have non-citizens or other illegal voters on there. And we know it's happening. They act surprised. And then I saw it today, Cheryl, the governor of New Jersey, is now mad that, they're in the spotlight and Harmeet Dillon's going to go in and actually prosecute some of these people. The other thing I want to highlight with this story real quick is Mickey Sherrill blamed this contractor that handled the motor voter requests. Now they're out saying no, that all they do is compile the information, they send it over to other officials within the state, and then that's who actually does the voter registration. So the 600 and some on that voted that they found, almost all of them checked that they were not U.S. citizens. So that should have been automatic elimination. You just assume the person didn't understand the forms and they're filling it out at the DMV, because that's how, for those that don't know, it's how motor voter works. When you go into the DMV, you can also register to vote right there. So these should never have been submitted. The company's saying that they don't think they submitted them either, or that they passed them on for driver's license and other data entry information. The governor's saying, oh, well, maybe it wasn't that company, it was another company. Well, there is no other company. They don't have any other contractors that do any sort of data work on at the DMV or with voter registration. So they're lying, and I'm going to guess that the problem is much bigger than what's already been exposed.
Yeah, think about what's going on in the state of Illinois. Think about all these governors that don't want to give up their voter data information. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, why? This should not be partisan at all. Why? Because we know why they're cheating. Just like Trump said, they're cheating. Anyone that
Well,
says they're not, matter of fact, I want to bring up because you guys know I had to jump off the show early last time, and I couldn't slam the Illinois GOP and our GOP leader and clerks and stuff. Slamming Trump and saying that they don't agree that there was massive amounts of voter interference. Yes, there was, and even if they don't agree, they should keep their goddamn. I sorry, Jimmy. I swear again. He's telling me not to use God's name. They should keep their damn mouth shut, right?
yeah.
If they really do think that, and they're supposed to be Republicans, why are they dogging? It's not. First of all, they're wrong. They're wrong. They have no evidence to back up what they say. We've got more evidence trickling out. We know that they blocked us from trying to get this information for years, right? We know there's a deep state on the Republican side as well as the Democrat side, and we know in the blue states they are stonewalling us. Just like a perfect example, me being stonewalled for 6 months, I'm a nobody trying to find out data about transvestite surgeries, and they're playing games with me, right? So imagine how protective they are with the voter rolls and the voter data and the stuff that hides their cheating. Think about it. I mean, it's happening. And think about the state of Illinois when Janulias, a few years back, he got, and I have somebody that works at the Secretary of State was providing me information. He had 4 little vans that he sent out, and they were they were electric vehicles, right? And they were so messed up. They kept screwing up and stuff, which is good. You had to buy some electric ones. What were they doing? They would send these vans out to get people registered to vote and help them get set up to get driver's license and IDs. Then what does Pritzker do? Like the following year, if you're, be in the past in Illinois, if you were an illegal, you had to, your license was configured differently so everybody would know that you're an illegal. What does he do? He changes it so you cannot tell that.
Dude, he was also wasn't he the one letting illegal aliens change their name so ICE couldn't find them?
3
So
days. Yeah, it was like 6 months. It went to 3 months, and he lowered it. Yes, and then he tried to act like it's for the gender affirming care freaks or whatever. It made absolutely no sense. Just like he changed our license plates. I'm sorry, our driver's
driver's
licenses
licenses.
from male to female to X, right? Male, female, now X. Why the hell are you doing that? Because you're a creep. You're a Marxist scumbag creep.
Well, it's to placate these mental patients on the left that should all be in asylums that think you can, like a beautiful butterfly, you can just become whatever you imagine. But dude, we didn't get to it either because of the technical issues the last episode. But same thing with all these IDs and other information that you found in this, what was it, Blue Cross Blue Shield, where this office was closed. What are they doing? Every one of those forms, same thing, has everything you need for a fake voter registration on it. You got a name, an address, a phone number, and I don't know if Illinois requires a social or not, but you've probably got everything you need for a voter ID right there. Nobody's watching the cookie jar, so all that can be entered too. And it's one of the other big things isn't just illegals voting; it's fake voters. It's throwing people on the rolls or using a name, a legitimate person, a legitimate U.S. citizen, valid voter, but having a ballot sent off to some other address you control, and then you vote for them.
Yeah, they don't want to clean up the data rolls, right? So when somebody dies or someone might move out of state, those are votes for Democrats. You got to remember, we're in the epicenter of Marxism, communist cheating. We invented voter cheating, man. I mean, we invented it here in the state of Illinois, and it was triggered by the unions, the control, the power. Like, remember with Kennedy and Daley, right?
Yeah.
They said that Daley won the vote with the unions. And there's more to it than just cheating on how you vote, right? My dad worked for the city of Chicago, and you guys know Rahm Emanuel, that little turd.
Apparently, they think he's about to run for president. By the way,
I'm sorry, I'm confusing him. Me and Ben Berquam confronted him. So I'm confusing it. We confronted him and Pritzker. Gutierrez. Remember Gutierrez? That little Puerto Rican turd, big mouth. So when he first ran for alderman, shortly after I graduated from high school, my dad worked for the city of Chicago, Verdoliak, big Democrat and stuff. And my dad said he had to go to the polling place. He was assigned to go to a polling place to provide security protection. And so me and my brother, even though we were like 20, he was 19, we were pretty big, for our age, cocky dagos, regardless of how big we were, but we were pretty big. And so we had to go with my father and not even knowing what the hell we're doing. We're just there with dad. And we had to protect the polling place. And guess who we were protecting it from? The Democrats. The Democrats didn't want the Puerto Rican as an alderman. The Democrats didn't want Gutierrez to win. And it was the Democrats that were making threats to the different polling places and stuff. They're the biggest creeps. Another thing that, the union guys would, for the city of Chicago back in the day, right? This is cheating. These guys would be let off, like my dad in the water department. They would be let off. They work half a days. And then they go out and they would, campaign and hand stuff out on the taxpayer dime for the Democrats. Right?
Same with the teachers' unions.
Yeah, that's an asset. And they're trying to do it with the students now, you guys. They're trying to use the teachers to get the students to do stuff and let them off of school to go help the Democrats. That's cheating. Is it cheating on a ballot? No, but that's extensive amounts of cheating. That affects the outcomes of our election. So it's not just one type of cheating when these Democrats, there's not evidence of huge, massive amounts of cheating, systemic cheating and bullshit. There's massive amounts of it, right? You guys hide it. You're hiding it. Some you don't even hide. And then you try to make up excuses when you catch them. I mean, there's so much stuff that these guys do that they're cheating. It's a miracle that we could win any race. It is.
Pretty much. Especially in places like Illinois, like you're just saying, with the public unions and with the teachers, that's subsidizing one party to make sure they can win the election. It's your tax dollars that are putting those people out there on the street so they can bust voters in for Democrats. They can volunteer for the Democrat Party. We'll give you half a day off. You leave early. Oh, you know what? We don't want to have to teach on election days. We're going to have our students show up. They're creating the get out the vote effort for the left. We all know this is happening, and it isn't just Illinois. It's places like New York. It's California. It's most of these blue states. I mean, I wonder how many of them would actually be blue if they weren't dipping their hand in the public funding cookie jar to bust their voters in mass.
Yeah. So we need all hands on deck. We, this next election so pivotal, and my gut is we're fucked. Sorry, we're screwed. And now with the war that's extending on, Trump, I'm disappointed in him that he didn't bomb the shit out of those guys earlier. I really am. I mean, because he's not a pushover. So I don't know what kept him from not going after them. Because it's just a little common sense. You knew those sleazy ass, stinky donkeys banging, goat sucking Muslims were not going to concede. They were not. And he knows it. He said how they do this. They've been doing it for 48 years. Now look, we got the election around the corner. Either he's got to blow that whole goddamn country up. Well, I know there's a lot I shouldn't say that.
Yeah. It's the government there.
RGC, and he's got to take them out aggressively. And my only hope is that there's stuff that's going on that we don't know that are weaponizing the citizens of Iran to help do a takeover out of the blue, right? And they're going to take over the country. That's my only hope, because I don't know why Trump put this off for so long. I tell my wife, she's not even in politics. It's like, go blow the shit out of these guys. And now here we are, man. The election's around the corner. Inflation, all this other things. And for those of you who don't like, you've got to give him credit because he's trying to do the right thing. And this is not going to help us. It is not going to help us. A normal politician would not have done, for the last 48 years, they haven't done shit, right? Because of the votes. He's trying to do the right thing before he's out of office, before he dies for our country. So you got to respect him. You got to give him credit for that. You got to.
Yeah. Yeah, he's trying to do the right thing. And, I agree. I think all this going back and forth with Iran, trying to negotiate, it was obvious after they broke the first ceasefire agreement, this wasn't going to happen. I can understand going to the table and trying to reach an agreement with them the first time. Personally, it's not going to work, and I would not have done it. But I understand for optics, he could at least say, hey, we extended the olive branch. We gave them an opportunity. We said, all you have to do is let us inspect and remove the nuclear material. We're going to set these other conditions. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't even do it for 72 hours. So the only alternative there then is to just wipe them out. There's a city within a city in Tehran called Jerkiran. I'm probably slightly mispronouncing that, but that's where all their leadership lives. That's where their government employees and government elected and unelected bureaucrats, that's where they live. It's a walled off, basically, compound. And it's time to make daisy cutters great again. If we're going to wipe them out, then it's time to play dirty and just hit that whole section. Because that's where a lot of them are. We know where their bunkers are. I think we ought to just start hitting them with bunker busters, whether we know somebody's down there or not. Because we got to win this quick. Because if this is still on the table in November when the elections are here, like you said, we're screwed. And there's a lot of other landmines in the near future. I was just watching like financial reports related to like AI companies. None of them are making any money, and there's about to be a correction there because we were.
That's the big time.
Yeah. Did you really? I'd go pull that money out as quick as you can because these companies are not turning a profit, and now the cost of the data centers is going up too. Anthropic's already hurting, so are a lot of the other big ones, and that's not turning around. So there's going to be an AI bubble burst with the stock market at some point. If we have a 30% correction, again, the media is not going to be honest. They're going to blame Trump for it 100%, and that'll be just to harm Republicans in the midterms.
Yeah. So a little mini break. I know we got a few minutes left. But I just want to give a heads up. So next Thursday, we got JJ Carroll on. JJ authored a number of books. He did a documentary on This Is Treason. Wow, was in that book. I hosted him in Chicago, and he was with the Border Patrol for a long time. He quit because of Biden administration. He went back under Trump. He left again. I don't know if you knew that. He went back. He quit. I see him active. I don't know if you follow him. He's active. I'm like, hey, you can't be with the Border Patrol anymore. The shit he's saying. And he's coming on the show. So we're going to get some really good insights of somebody that was in the intertwining middle of the Homeland Security and ICE and all this stuff, right? So he's a great guy. We're going to show some of the stuff from his documentary. We have Elvita King. Martin Luther King's niece, Dr. Elvita King, is coming on our show. Just confirmed that yesterday. I guess you didn't get the memo from the Three Stooges that I was a racist, right? I shouldn't have her on our show because I don't like black people, right? I hate
right.
It's a joke. Oh my God, that little prick is going to edit that.
That'll definitely get clipped.
Prick is going to edit that little second. What else we got come? Oh, I got Jim Dawson. He was on before Mike was co-hosting with me. And you guys heard of the Knights of Templar, right? The Crusaders. You heard about it. You heard the history of it. He's the head guy from Ireland. He was going to be on this week, but he's in Glasgow because of Glasgow. How do you say it?
Glasgow.
I'm fucking Dago. I don't know. So he's in Glasgow. He's got a great accent, much better than mine, the Irish accent. But he's the head guy. He got like 300,000 followers, and it's a global. He's the head guy. He's going to be on our show. We're just trying to figure out the time zone difference. We're trying to do it now that Mike's working because you guys aren't giving us any goddamn cash. Oh, I said it again. You're not giving us any cash to help the show, right? We need some money. How do we do
We really do. We need a sponsor. So anybody out there wants to sponsor us, let us know.
We don't even do that. We just do this because we love our country. Honest to God.
Yeah.
We love our country. So, yes, I would love to make money. I don't even know where to ask to give me some money to do this. But, it's not relevant, but it is relevant. But
we'll set up a buy me a coffee. But it's always difficult. Yeah, I've got a guest I have on a regular basis out of the UK. So and another one out of the Netherlands. It's always difficult. It's easier in the morning, but they're like 6 to 9 hours ahead. So the guy would be up at like 3 in the morning to come out with us at night. So we just got to find a time he can record where we're up.
So Mike's working again a little bit during the week. So for us to do a 12 o'clock interview with our buddy from the Templars, it's during noon our time. And if we do our show at night, it's like 2 in the morning for him. So we're going to try to do it on a Saturday, pre-recorded for you guys. Cause you see all the stuff. For those of you that are like watching the show, know what's going on in Ireland, right? You know what's going on in Britain. He's in the middle of it. His people are in the middle of it. Matter of fact, some guys from America and Chicago, Crusader guys reached out, Templar guys reached out to me. I lost. If you're watching the show, I can't find you. I'm so disorganized. They wanted to get together and help us. So reach back out to me and send me a DM. I got to go back and try to find that. So we need your help. Another thing that's big in the news, the DSA, Democratic Socialist of America, they're having a summit in Chicago. They're having a summit in Chicago.
Oh, we need to be there.
Yeah, yes, we will be there. And so keep an eye on that. What else? The summer's been pretty quiet with the radical leftists. There's going to be something's going to blow up soon in Chicago.
I just saw some other people talking about that. They think that I don't know that I agree with this or not, but basically USAID money drying up is why we haven't seen more other than this kind of like very targeted stuff against ICE. But they think August or September, that's when it's going to kick off because you got to hold the country hostage right before the elections.
That's true. That's true. And they have to use their money sparingly. So they didn't have enough to go all summer like the summer of love. So that's probably very true, Mike.
I think it's probably exactly what it is.
So, got anything else? Otherwise, we're going to finish a little bit early. We got a little. We're always late, right, guys? We're always late. So when I say 7, that I'm lying to you, right? I'm absolutely lying to you. And then I always say this: "What do you want for nothing? A rubber biscuit?" So, we're always late. We all got jobs and multiple shows and family, and we're doing this ourselves. Mike's doing it, the tech stuff. So we are always late, and I apologize. I do try to start at 7, but it's kind of
sometimes we have technical difficulties.
Yeah, with me, I'm a retard. Even though I sold high tech, like the biggest projects in the world to retailers and stuff, I could barely do email. I'm like half a retard, not like a Max Rice half a retard. I'm a technical half a retard.
That's okay. You can still do it. You can do enough to get by. But no, there's not really any other big breaking stories at the moment. I'm going to be watching a lot of this voter stuff. I did see where somebody in Michigan's government is now threatening to charge this lady that came forward with the voter information, the illegal aliens voting, with some sort of a crime. I don't know what that's going to be.
Colorado, right? What's her name?
Oh yeah, with Tina. Yeah, Tina Peters. Yeah. Same thing, and they'll find something with Tina. Even though federal law would require her to hold on to voting records, Colorado decided state law supersedes federal law, and just in this one case, so it was okay to put her in jail for 9 years.
Word to the wise. I was at a meeting with General Flynn and some other people, and he told us that the deep state is embedded at the lower levels and some high levels. But Trump got rid of a lot of them, but it's hard to get rid of them all, right? When they take over control, they're coming after people like us. They're coming after us hard, right? Mike even heard they want to try to find ways to go after the J6ers again and more people, which would be, so we're in a war, you guys. We need your help. People have to understand we're in a war. You got to act like we're in a war. No, you don't have to go fight. Like when there's soldiers and armies, right? I don't know what the ratio is from the frontline infantrymen. It's like 1 to 10, right? So you don't have to be in the infantry, but you have to help us. You have to help us create awareness and fight in anything you could do to help save our country and the future of for our children, right?
Yep. Yeah, we got to get involved. We got to get people running for a lot of these seats, even at the local level. It's important to control the city council. I mean, that's where a lot of these regulations get pushed through. That's how you end up with girls in the guys' bathroom and guys in the girls' bathroom at your local school. It's the school board and the city council make those rules. That's who locked you down for COVID in a lot of states. So we've got to get involved. From dog catcher to governor, we got to start running for these positions and take over.
Yep. All right, I forgot to show my little mug shot from the day to show you guys. We'll do that next time.
All right, man.
We'll do that next time.
Sounds good. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Help us to grow so we can bring more people the news the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. And we'll be back next week. Or what day is today? Today's Thursday.